It looks like we're all good. All right, see some people coming in. Wanted to just wait about another minute while some people make their way in. There will be a replay on this too, and I'll have that posted as where to find it. You should get an email as well when it's over. And this is a little bit different than a Zoom, but we have a chat going on. So I will try to monitor the chat as we go. And give just about another minute and get going on this. See some familiar faces, hey? Always good to see those here that are close to you in your circle. Appreciate that. Hope we can drop some nuggets for you today. I do have some notes over here because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So you see me looking off, I'm just checking on everything and checking the chat. I'm trying not to miss anything, and I try to make everything so there are no technical glitches whatsoever. We'll see how that goes. All right, well, why don't we get started? So I wanted to first start off by saying, hey, creators and video marketing enthusiasts. You're either in marketing or online, whether you're a coach, mentor, brand new into it, promoting products or services. And if you use video and even written, because I can help with written as well, I wanted to thank you for being here for the Creator Reset from drafts to posted without the burnout, because I've been there and I'll get into it. So for those that you don't know, I'm Alan. I'm a full-time dad and content coach, and someone who used to record 10 videos a week and post none of them. I would just sit there and ponder on how I could have made it better. So today I am very excited about this training where I'm going to walk you through exactly how I went from spiraling in silence to building a video content system that works around my life and actually sells for me in the background. I'm going to try and stay on target here. Sometimes I go off on a tangent thinking I'm going to miss something, but I believe I have everything laid out, so I'll touch on everything as we go. Again, there is the chat, and we can always talk later. If you have questions, please just write them down, and you can contact me or message me, DM me later. So I first wanted to say that this is not about going viral. This is not about waking up to DMs blowing up. It's about building something consistent, simple, and real. But before we get there, let me give you a clear picture of where I came from and how I ended up here. Because I didn't grow up dreaming of being a content creator, I spent nearly 30 years in a completely different world, the swimming pool industry. I worked my way up through sales, management, and territory roles where I am now, also juggling family, real life, and a deep desire for something more. I always felt deep down inside that I was supposed to be doing something different, more important. And I'm sure if you're here that you felt that way too. What most people don't know is that video became my outlet. I started filming because I loved the process. It took me a while to figure that out, but the parts of it that I love, I just love the storytelling, the creativity. It was how I expressed myself, even when I had no clue on what I do with it. At first, I posted just to post. Random videos, random topics, chasing the idea that I should be visible. But there was no system, no strategy, no energy, followed by burnout multiple times. And that burnout wasn't pretty. I used to work until 3 or 4 in the morning, telling myself I was grinding. But really, I was doing everything except building a business. You know, I'd redesign my logo for the 10th time. I'd tweak my banner. I'd swap out brand colors, rebrand over and over, hoping that this would finally feel right. And by keeping busy, I felt like I was doing my business. I'm sure many of you can relate. I'd binge editing tutorials late at night. I'd lose hours experimenting with flashy effects and complicated transitions. Not because they moved the needle, but because they made me feel like I was making progress and I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed that process of it. That's what got me into this in the first place. I convinced myself that if I showed off enough, people would just flock to me. They'd see my talent and magically know I could help them. I wasn't running a business. I was clinging to busy work, distracting myself from the truth. I didn't have a plan. I wanted one and I thought I might have had one, but I didn't. But the worst part, my energy was constantly drained by real life responsibilities that I couldn't just put on hold. I'm sure, again, you know what I'm talking about. I had to raise kids, a job to show up for, a house to maintain, and underneath all of it, headaches, brain fog, and a level of exhaustion that made it hard to think straight. Sometimes it's worse than others. I kind of go through peaks and valleys with it, and sometimes I'm on point. And luckily today I'm feeling on point. So when I say I had a lot on my plate, I mean it. I wasn't just balancing a job. I was on the road 3 to 4 days a week, traveling across states for work, crashing in hotels, and editing content late at night on a laptop while the rest of my family was asleep back home. I've got 5 kids, 4 still at home. One's been out of the house for a while, getting married soon, but there's 3 in high school, homework, suspensions, sports schedules, teenage drama, last minute projects, and all of it lands on, me and my wife. And my wife has been super supportive through everything. She knows my dream to have a media agency and to support people because I love doing it. I love editing. I love marketing. And I love being my own boss, living life on my terms and having the time freedom that I need. So sometimes it's hard for me to remember that. But on weekends, I'm not checking out. I'm at church with my family. I'm volunteering. I'm in a men's group that I care about deeply. I'm the guy who fixes everything around the house, which means I've got half-finished projects everywhere, each one calling for time. I have a half-finished screened-in porch to do. I have new interior doors that have been leaning up against the walls in the hallway for a year, and I'll get there. I know it. I've been a coach for my son's Little League baseball team, showing up for practices, playing catch, hitting balls, and being part of his growth as a player. I tried to be a present dad, but there were so many times I was buried in my office with a recording in progress sign taped to the door, and when I'd finally hit record, the chaos of 4 kids arguing, laughing, and yelling in the background meant I'd have to stop, start over, and try again. It's not just content, it's life. And in the middle of all that, I was leading 2 weekly coaching calls for my clients, attending 2 weekly coaching calls for my own growth, creating business content, not just for myself, but for other brands, learning new platforms, staying active in courses, and trying to keep up with what's changing in the content world. Supporting people around me with their projects because I care too much to say no. And there are times when you do have to say no, and don't be afraid of that. Oh, and just last year, I even became an ordained minister to officiate my nephew's wedding. That meant writing their vows, the wedding speech, the rehearsal dinner blessing, and standing in front of over 100 people to conduct the ceremony. I've also led seminars for my job, presenting to 75 people at a time, sometimes for 2 hours straight, and on not so great topics, not so exciting when you're talking about pool automation and chlorination and things like that. So I'm not telling you this to brag on my time or tell you how bogged down I am. I'm telling this to you to relate and just know that there are things that you can do in your own busy life to change this. So if it wasn't inspiration keep me going, it was pure grit. And if I'm honest, it nearly broke me more than once. But no matter how heavy things got, something in me refused to give up. I knew there was a better way, I just hadn't found it yet. And towards the beginning, I felt I've invested money, I've invested time in this. I can't just give it up. I can't just let it go. So the turning point came when I realized I had knowledge in all these different buckets: marketing and sales from my career, almost 30 years in it, video editing and strategy from teaching myself and experimenting, coaching and mentoring from years of guiding others through growth. I've been 25 years as a retail manager, a regional manager, a sales manager. So I knew I had things inside me that could really, I guess, help me in this journey that I have as a content creator and online marketer. So, but none of it was connected. It took trial and error, failed launches, burnout, and moments where I nearly quit to finally step back and say, what if I just built a system around who I really am and how I actually work instead of following systems that are out there? And that's when everything started to click. Now, I post regularly with a clear process that fits around my full-time job and my family. I monetize through a low-ticket offer that brings in income without needing to pitch in the DMs every day. I've been down that road, and that was one of the reasons why I got burnt out. I was, back in the day, going into groups. I was recruiting people. I was cold DMing. I had a strategy. I was actually promoting a course, and I was part of a course about cold DMing and how to strategize your conversations. I wasn't comfortable with cold DMing. I actually kind of take offense when people do it to me, and I'm nice. I don't say anything bad, but I do let them know that you might do a little bit better if you get to know the person a little bit more. So, but I also run a school group that's growing steadily, not just in numbers, but actual impact. I'm not editing at 11 p.m. I'm not glued to my phone. I batch content in short windows during the week, not because I have more time, but because I finally found a rhythm that works. I host trainings. I work with coaching clients. I run a video agency, but I do it all from the same system that I built during one of the busiest, messiest seasons of my life. It's not about being a guru. It's about being a real creator with a real life who finally figured out how to stop spiraling and just start building. And I'll walk you through how I did it piece by piece, starting right now. So make sure you stick with me, because while you'll get immediate takeaways, the full picture won't be revealed until later in this training. That's where everything connects. And that's where the clarity really begins. And before we dive in, I've got to tell you this. I've been sitting on something wild. I've talked to a few people about it, and it's been out there a little bit, but it's probably the craziest thing I've ever created in my business, and probably the most revolutionary thing I've ever had come out of my brain. But I'm not revealing it just yet. I want to show you why it matters first, because once you see what's missing for most creators, you'll get why this thing is so revolutionary. So hang tight. We'll come back to it, and when we do, you'll see exactly how it fits in. Again, feel free to have those comments come in. They will be saved. If I don't get to anybody, I'll either email or DM any questions that I miss afterwards. I'll do my best for that. So if you want to finally start posting consistent content that grows your audience and income, you don't need more gear. You don't need more time. You definitely don't need more confidence. You're already here. That shows that you have confidence within you. You need a simple 3-step rhythm and a plug-in support system that you don't have to build from scratch. So let's really be real. Most creators fail because every post feels like starting from zero. They're guessing what to say, how to say it, and when to hit publish. They second guess everything. And by the time they finish editing, they don't even like it anymore. If that's you, drop a yes in the chat right now. Go ahead, don't be afraid. We can admit it. So I want to see it. Be honest. See, there we go. So when you record a video, then you cut it down, add captions, move a few things around, then you ask, does this even make sense? Did I chop it up into something it wasn't meant to be? And to be? You try to plan, but you overthink it. We haven't heard of that before, right? Then you try to film without a plan, and it shows. You're stuck in your head the whole time, and instead of building momentum, it just reinforces the feeling that maybe I'm not cut out for this. I mean, it gets that bad, right? I'm sure it sounds familiar again. If this does, give me a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt like this. See? So let me just define something quickly. Sometimes I like to refer to the actual to actual dictionary definitions because this next part is crucial. Burnout is not just being tired. Burnout is a state of chronic stress that leads to emotional exhaustion, physical fatigue, detachment, and a creeping sense of hopelessness. And if you've had it, that hopelessness is just terrible. It's when something you once loved starts to feel like a job that you didn't sign up for. I've been there, not just once, multiple times. I've had full stretches, weeks, even months, where I couldn't bring myself to open my editing software. It felt like I was behind every day. I would look at my Facebook feed or my TikTok and look at the last time I posted and just put my head in my hands. Like, I have to start over again. You know, what do I do? Do I have to create a new strategy or content plan or content calendar? And I got to ramp this up again. And now I got to start doing 3 to 5 videos a day. Where do I start? No matter how hard I worked, I wasn't catching up. And then I disappear. Because the deeper the burnout, the harder it was to show back up. I'm sure you can relate to that one. So if you can, let me see it. So drop a fire in the chat if you've ever stepped away for just a few days. That maybe turned into a few weeks, then into guilt, and then into silence. Okay. Yep. I see it there. So here's a story that most people don't know. There was a stretch when I was trying to do everything right. I was posting daily, trying to keep my energy up, testing new formats, editing fancy videos with effects, juggling my full-time job, managing the 4 kids at home, staying on top of multiple coaching programs, showing up for clients, and of course, doing the things for my wife that she needed the help with, because I felt like I was lacking in that. And I felt like there's times that she was upstairs and I was in the office and I felt like I just neglected her and I felt guilty. But one day I just snapped. I sat down to film and nothing came out. I had no motivation, no excitement, just this dread. The thing that used to light me up was now draining me faster than my day job. I actually caught myself thinking, I'd rather be in a staff meeting than recording another piece of content. And I knew it wasn't me, but that's burnout. And if you're not careful, it will steal every ounce of momentum you've built and convince you that maybe this isn't for you. But it is. You just need structure. That's what changed the game for me and what can change it for you. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after clarity. And clarity starts with structure. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need a camera crew. And you don't need to feel ready. You just need a repeatable rhythm that matches your real life. Something that fits into who you are and what you do. Not someone else's. Not a full-time influencer with a team behind them, but yours. If you get what I'm talking about, drop a clarity, the word clarity, in the chat if that hits, because that's what we're building today. All right, keep them coming. All right, so when I stopped forcing myself to follow someone else's schedule, system, or blueprint, because that's what we turned to when we didn't know. We looked, we saw somebody sent out a doc, and that's what worked for them, and we try to follow it, even when they said it's different for everybody. So that's when the spiral stopped. That's when I finally started to build. If you've ever felt like consistency is just code for burnout, or like showing up every day is for people without real responsibilities, like those that have already quit their job and are doing this full time, and those are the only people that can be successful in this, it doesn't make sense. So you're not broken. You're just trying to do this without a system. And I'm about to show you what that system actually looks like. All right, so we get some more people coming in here too. So just in time for some of the juicy stuff. So let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever said, I have so many ideas, I just don't know where to start? Or maybe it's, I have no clue what to post anymore. You feel like you've posted everything. It's funny how we can flip-flop between idea overload and creative drought in the same week. If you're familiar, drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt that kind of whiplash, right? Okay. All right. So maybe you're just being a little quiet about it. That's okay. But I know we've all been there to some degree. But here's the truth. You don't need more content ideas. There's tons of them out there, tons of ways to find them. You need a rhythm. You need something that removes the guesswork. Most creators are sitting on hours of footage, dozens of rough drafts, scribbled notes, and Canva thumbnails that just never made it into the timeline. And that was me for years. I'd be hot, I'd be cold, I'd be warm sometimes, I'd be in the middle, but I sat on stuff. I had a Trello board full of topics, a phone full of drafts, a Google Drive full of half edits, but no rhythm. I was trying to build from scratch every time I sat down to create. And let me tell you, when every video starts at 0, you start associating content creation with exhaustion, resistance, and overwhelm. And that's when the spiral begins. I'd start strong, batch a few clips, maybe post one, then ghost the platform for a week. Because I didn't have a system, just adrenaline and ambition. And when you burn out, all those ideas, they don't mean much. That's when the game changer wasn't a better camera or more editing tricks. It was this, a simple 3-step rhythm that I could follow every week, no matter how busy I was. Let me break it down. 1, plan. 2, film. 3, edit and post, because those are connected. The simple 3-step system. So the phase 1, planning. Let's take a moment to really unpack the first part of the rhythm of planning. Most people think planning means mapping out the week, picking topics, and sticking them on a calendar. That's not it. Planning the way I teach it is research. It's studying what's already working. When I sit down to plan, I don't start with a blank page. I go hunting. I look at what's trending in my niche. I watch the top performing videos from creators I respect, and even some I don't. I don't just watch passively. I analyze it. I even kept a spreadsheet with links to those videos. I made notes on the hooks, and I looked at what hooks did they use. How did they open the first 3 seconds? Was there text? Was it a visual hook? Was it something else that just caught my attention? What pacing or language made it possible to scroll past? What structure kept people watching? And most importantly, how do I take that structure and apply it to my voice, my message, and something that's going to connect with my people? That's the first phase of the rhythm. It's not about copying. It's about reverse engineering what works. So I don't have to guess every time I hit record. It's the opposite of winging it. And when people skip this, they don't just waste time, they waste energy. They sit down to film and freeze, right? How many times do we do that? Second guess themselves in the middle of a take. They get lost halfway through the edit and wonder why it doesn't feel right. Because the problem wasn't the filming. It was the lack of a plan. And the beauty of it is that once you see how simple this planning process can be, your brain starts connecting the dots. You start hearing hooks when you scroll, You start recognizing patterns in what really performs, and ideas just start coming to you instead of chasing them down at 11:30 at night. And I'm giving it all away here. I'll show you exactly how to do this later in a way that's fast, repeatable, and actually kind of fun. For now, I just want you to feel the shift, because when you start with clarity, everything else falls into place. So the second phase is film. Once you've planned content the right way, it's filming stops feeling like a mystery. It stops feeling like a void. You don't need to wake up feeling it. Don't feel like you have to be in the perfect mood in order to do it. You need a setup that's already in place and a few simple formats to rely on. Inside my system, I show you how to record confidently with just your phone, using repeatable structures that take the guesswork out of what to say. And yes, you can do this in less than 15 minutes per day. Here's how filming actually looks for me. I keep a list of 3 to 5 video ideas from my planning session. I record in small windows, sometimes on my lunch break, sometimes in a parked car. Sometimes I like to do it at my desk here, and sometimes I'll just step outside, or I'll walk around the house and do it as I'm holding my phone out in front of me, because a lot of those I want to feel candid. But I don't worry about it being perfect. I focus on delivery, energy, and hitting my hook in the first few seconds. And there's times when you review it, if you don't feel that hook is working, redo it. Just do another one. You're editing it anyways. So most importantly, I don't stop recording every time I mess up. That was the old me. When you do that, you have 16 videos to now figure out what order they're supposed to be and how you're going to upload them and put it in the right order. And once it's done, even hope you did it right. The difference is in the rhythm. Because when I plan on Monday, I film on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I don't waste time guessing. That's what makes it sustainable and repeatable. So in phase 3 is where editing is where most of the people stall. They overthink it. They spend 2 hours trying to make one video look perfect. And here's what I teach. Editing is about clarity, not complexity. You can get complex as you go, but find a few things that really work for you and just nail those every time. And it may take some time to get used to. And that's okay, because we're patient. That's why we're all still here. If this message lands, the editing doesn't need to be flashy. In my system, I teach creators how to use quick frameworks to trim and tighten their videos. Add captions, effects, and sound without letting it become a time suck, right? A black hole. Create a visual style that builds recognition so people remember their content. I even share my personal templates, shortcuts, and mobile editing stack, the exact tools I use to go from raw clip to posted content in under 20 minutes. But most importantly, I teach you how to trust your content enough to post it, because that's the final unlock. Posting isn't a decision. It's the natural output of a system that works. When you have a rhythm, content moves. You stop spiraling. You stop starting over every week. It becomes a routine and a habit, and you just begin doing it. You stop chasing the perfect edit. And that's when people start paying attention. When you start really speaking your mind and speaking what you feel you were meant to talk about, that's when things start happening to you. You're not chasing the trends. You're training your audience to come back, to listen to more. You build trust. You build consistency. You build momentum that finally sticks. So let me tell you a hard truth no one likes to say out loud. You're not struggling with confidence. You're struggling with not knowing what to say or how to say it. Because confidence doesn't come from standing in front of a camera and hoping you look good. It comes from knowing exactly what you're going to say and why it matters. I used to re-record every 5 times. I'd mess up one word in the intro and stop the whole thing. I'd stare at the screen and question if I looked tired, if my video was strong enough, if the background looked too cluttered. I'd think, why would anyone listen to me? So I'd delete it, or worse, save it to drafts and never touch it again. Sometimes I'd go back to them and say, what the hell? I'll just post it, right? What's the worst that can happen? And that's the mentality you need to have. Anyone else feel like that? If you do, drop me a 2 in the chat. And if you've recorded a video and never posted it, even just one, let's see. Okay. So again, we're all being honest. How many videos are sitting in your phone right now, right? You can put it in the chat or you can just think about it. But we tell ourselves we're just waiting for the right time or a better idea or to feel more ready. But that feeling doesn't ever really come, right? So confidence isn't the starting point. Clarity is. When I finally built the system, a real rhythm I could rely on, that's when everything changed. Because I wasn't winging it anymore. I had a structure. I wasn't posting just to post and then feel that relief that I did it. I had scripts that followed a proven flow. I had editing tools that made my videos look polished, even when I recorded in my truck. I had feedback from other creators using the same system, so I wasn't stuck in my own head wondering if it was good enough. And here's the best part. When I followed that rhythm, I didn't just post anymore. I actually got better. My hooks improved, my delivery got sharper, my edits got faster, and I started to trust myself. I always thought, what could I do to make this more efficient? Because I try and be about efficiency the best I can. But I started to trust myself. Not because I suddenly became fearless, but because I knew what I was doing and I wasn't doing it alone. Let me show you exactly how this looked inside my program. We use scripting frameworks that help you nail the first 3 seconds. Not overthinking, no guessing. And feel free to take notes on this. I definitely recommend it. We simplify recording setups so you can film from wherever you are. We create momentum with quick wins. Videos you'll post within 72 hours even if you've never posted before. I've had full-time parents, 9-to-5 workers, corporate workers, and overwhelmed creators post confidently for the first time after years of second-guessing themselves. Why? Because they stopped trying to build confidence out of thin air and started building clarity with a system that works. If you've got 15 minutes a day, you can do this. You don't need to be the most charismatic person on camera. You just need to know what you're saying and believe it's worth sharing because somebody out there wants to hear it and somebody out there is a step behind you. And that's what I'll help you do. Let me tell you something that flipped everything for me. I didn't start making real progress until I stopped trying to go viral and started building a real community. At first, I thought if I could just get seen enough, the sales would come, right? That's why I was doing my special effects and everything, which I still do. I love them. And they're great in certain instances, but I believe everybody can use them. I think they're great. But if I went viral, people would flood my DMs. If my editing was clean enough, if my videos were good enough, they just know I was someone they should hire or buy from. But none of that happened. I had views, I had some likes, I had some great comments, but I didn't have momentum because I didn't have a path. Here's what most people do. And again, write this one down because you might look back at it and find yourself checking these off as being what you do. But they post tip videos and hope someone magically clicks through and buys something. They chase engagement with no end goal. Or they build an elaborate funnel with 9 steps, 4 emails, and a confusing offer no one actually understands. I did it. I made funnels, and I still use them, but I don't rely on them. They're in place. I don't worry about them, but they are not needed. I built them in ClickFunnels, and for the last probably 2 years or even more, I've used System.io. And while the funnels themselves were solid, I'd spend a week perfecting them. The problem was I wasn't even moving traffic through them. I would have those people that DM you and say, how's the traffic in your funnel? I don't know. I don't even know how to check it. I wasn't even looking to see if they were converting or moving anybody to where I was trying to push them to. They didn't get used. Not because they didn't work, but because I didn't have a simple system to lead people there. I was trying to automate a relationship I hadn't built yet. Here's what actually works is a focused community. And for those of you that are here, you could be part of the Editing Made Easy community on School, or my Facebook group, the Editing Made Easy on Facebook. When I paired my weekly content rhythm with a real home, a place people could land, hang out, get value, and take the next step, things started to shift. For me, that place was my school group. It's free to join. It's where my best videos live. It's where people ask questions, get support, and eventually join my programs. I'm actually going through a season right now where I'm going to be uploading a lot more content, tutorials, things that will actually help. I'm going to add to my tech talks, but I've been busy building this behind the scenes as well as staying consistent with my content. And I would have never been able to do that without the systems that I have in place. So these are some of the things that I've learned. You don't need a high ticket offer to monetize. You don't need to DM strangers and beg for attention. You don't need a funnel that looks like a NASA launch diagram, right? You just need a content rhythm that attracts the right people, a low friction place to connect, like a school group or a Facebook group, or one of the other many, Circle, Telegram, any of those that you can get people together, like-minded people, sharing ideas. It's a simple way to serve them with your offer. Once I set that up, I stopped chasing. People started coming to me, and not just to say, nice video, but to ask questions, to join, to ask me to roast their videos, and to buy. The difference, I stopped building for the algorithm. I started building for my people. And I started to voice those thoughts that were in my head. And now, when I post a video, I know exactly where I'm pointing them. They're not just seeing content, they're stepping into something. That's what a focused community does. It provides context. It gives people a reason to stay. And it makes the sale feel natural, because it is. You let your content do the heavy lifting. I'm not selling harder. I'm just making it easier to buy. And when you have that, you don't need to post 5 times a day. You don't need to be everywhere or omnipresent. You just need to be consistent in one place and clear about where people should go next. If they don't have direction, they get confused, they don't know, they go elsewhere or scroll. That's how I grew my business without adding more hours. That's how I serve clients while still showing up for my family. That's how I make sales while coaching, working full-time, and living my life. You don't need a funnel. You need a focused community. And I'll show you exactly how to build that inside my system. But for now, just know this. When your content is connected to a clear path, everything changes. I promise. Let me show you what I built that makes this all possible. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is kind of where I talk about what I can help you do. And I hope what you've heard so far has been valuable for you. And I hope that you come back for more. And even if I can't help you right now, just hang out and watch, because that's okay too. So everything we just went through, the rhythm, the clarity, the system, that's the why. But if you're ready for the how, here it is. This is the exact system I use to go from stuck drafts to burnout, to consistent content, daily momentum, and a business that fits my life. It's called Editing Made Easy and Group Juice. It's more than just a course. It's 2 complete systems that finally work together. So first, Editing Made Easy. This is the content rhythm I've been walking you through. It's my 3-day system that helps you go from idea to posted without overthinking, over editing, or falling off the map. You can do it at your pace. You'll learn how to plan content that actually works, film with confidence in short windows of time, edit quickly with the tools I have, templates, and workflows, post consistently, and build real momentum, even with a full-time job. But here's where most content systems stop, and where mine takes it further. That's where Group Juice comes in. Group Juice is the missing piece for most creators, because what happens after someone watches your video? What happens after they leave a comment or hit like? If you don't have a system for that moment, you're losing leads, you're losing sales, you're stuck in post and hope. And think about this too. Those people that are close to you, those people that you're friendly with, that you talk to regularly, those are your closest leads. I don't like to think about leads. I like to think about mentoring and helping and providing answers to help somebody further along in their journey. Group Juice is the business side of your content. It's the ecosystem I use to turn views into conversations and daily engagement into revenue, without sales calls, cold DMs, or complex tech. It's a separate community led by my mentors, Nate Ryan and Flip Moss, that show you how to build a focused school group or Facebook group or community that becomes your home base. It turns your free content into a steady stream of warm leads, sell low ticket or high ticket offers without pitching hard, and those are services, products such as the Amazon Influencer Program or TikTok Shop. You create daily traction from authentic connection, not marketing gimmicks. You will not hear earn 10K in 30 days. Because if that's what you're here for, or if that's what you want, or if that's what you're looking for in different groups, you can try and find it elsewhere, and good luck if you find it. If you do, let me know. But inside Group Juice, you'll also unlock their full classroom. And there's so much in there. I'm talking full trainings. There are some low ticket offers that are paid, but there is a ton of information. They actually help you with the Amazon Influencer Program. Daily passive income from content you already posted. Right now, I don't commit enough time to it, but I do still do it. I make roughly $100 a month from videos that I did 4 months ago, and they just keep working. The more time you put into it and update things and keep up to it, you're going to grow. I know people that are paying their mortgages and more with just that stream of income. TikTok Shop for creators. How to earn commission without chasing virality, because you don't need a big audience. Building your own AI clone that helps you scale content without losing your voice. They actually walk you through step by step on how to do that. There's a $100,000 business plan. And yes, it's definitely step by step. Monetization blueprints for reels, written posts, and even your school group. And weekly calls every Tuesday when they coach you live and update the system in real time. And this isn't just theory, it's a business model. And I'm one of the case studies. If editing made easy is how you build the engine, Group Juice is how you put it on the road and start moving. They go hand in hand. They promote community and using short form video to promote what you do. And how do you make short form video? That's where I come in. I love to say they are the jelly to my peanut butter. They just go hand in hand. And that's why I bundled them together for this offer. I've actually had this in place for a year or so, but I didn't have the system down yet. I didn't know how I was going to do it. But with this offer, you'll get both. The editing made easy, my 3-day content rhythm system, Group Juice, the ecosystem that turns content into conversions, my school community, ongoing support, feedback, and live calls, my full CapCut masterclass, edit pro-looking videos fast. I have it free in the community for now, but with what I'm adding to it, it may not be free much longer. Content feedback from me directly if you're not doing this alone. And here's the best part. No sales calls, no funnel, no tech overwhelm. Now here's the part I didn't tell you about at the beginning. Remember how I said I built something wild? Right. So it's called the Creator Engine. And I gotta be real with you. this thing still blows my mind. I didn't even think it was possible. I basically cloned myself inside AI. Seriously. I trained this thing to think like me, talk like me, and coach like me. This isn't just some ChatGPT gimmick with a couple of prompts. I fed it everything: my voice, my editing system, my content rhythm, my group juice strategy, even the way I answer DMs and give feedback on videos. And it will also train itself to be more like you as well. It knows my editing made easy flow. It knows what topic is on what page when you're looking for it. It knows how Group Juice turns content into sales. And it knows exactly how to keep creators like us from spiraling and overthinking. It helps to ground us. You can drop in a video draft and it'll tell you if your hook lands, if your CTAs are soft, or if your energy's off. Need help with a script, a title, a caption, or what to say in the first 3 seconds? It's there. It's like texting me at 1 a.m. when you're stuck, and I answer immediately with the exact thing you need to fix or post. You don't just get faster, you get clearer. You get more consistent. You stop asking, what should I say? And start saying it like a pro. I built this to pair with both systems. Editing Made Easy gives you the content rhythm. Group Juice gives you the business strategy. And the Creator Engine, that's what makes the whole thing run. This is how you stop stalling and actually start building. Even if I'm not around, you've got a version of me that keeps you going. It's like having Jarvis in your pocket. Only this one edits, coaches, captions, and never sleeps. And yes, you can actually upload your videos into this GPT and it can watch it. And it can tell you what's missing or what it recommends. And yeah, it's included. You join, you get everything, you start moving. So only let in a limited number of people at a time so I can actually support them. If you're watching this while it's still live, that means it's open. And if there's a replay, it's still open. But once the doors close, they close fast. So if this feels like the system you've been waiting for, the one that finally puts all the pieces together, now's the time. I know you've been held back by time, held back by fear, held back by what am I going to say? This is an answer for you because I've been there and it's what I've created. Because I've shown you it works. And with the right support, it'll work for you too. If this hits home, if you're done spiraling, second guessing, and starting from scratch every week, and you're ready to build a rhythm that actually fits your life, then I'd love to help you. This isn't a course you'll forget about. This is a system you'll use. Every piece of what I've showed you today, the rhythm, the content plan, the editing flow, the conversion strategy, the Creator Engine, it's all inside. And it's ready right now. So if this feels like the thing that finally makes it click, send me a message that says ready, or go to the link below and jump in. No pressure. If this isn't your moment, I've got you. There's no pressure. Do it when you're ready. I'm still here for you, but let's do this. I hope everything there kind of came across because I've really been thinking about it and I've really planned this for quite a while. But I also thought about some of the things that you may be thinking of because they were some of the things that I went through myself. So I know we covered a lot already, but I want to hit a few things that they always seem to come up, or they're things that I think of. So because chances are one of these is still sitting in the back of your mind. So let me know in the chat if any of these sound like you. And if you have questions, drop them. If I don't get to them, I'm going to mix in some from the chat here as well. But if I don't get to them, I'll reach out to you. So one of the big ones, what if I'm not good on camera? So totally fair. I used to feel the same way. I used to make sure my glasses were right and I didn't have lint or dust on my head or the bags under my eyes. And I'm just looking at myself here on my screen. But I used to feel the same way. And truth is, you don't have to be an actor or influencer to show up confidently, even at that. People don't look at what you look like. They look at what you're doing. and what you're talking about and how you vibe with them. So inside the Editing Made Easy, I show you how to sound like yourself, speak with clarity, and keep it simple. We lean into your real voice, not someone else's. And once you have structure, that nervous energy disappears. I always get that. My heart races a bit, my hands get a little bit sweaty every time I film, and that's good because it's pushing you. And once you have the structure, that nervous energy disappears. Confidence isn't something that you fake, it's something you build by knowing what to say and how to say it. So you might also say, I don't have much time. Yeah, so me neither. If it's a priority and it's part of your why, then it's going to be worth it. I built this while working full-time, coaching, raising a family, and running a business on the side. The whole system is designed to work in small windows. You're not filming for hours. You're not editing for hours. You're building a repeatable rhythm that fits your life. 15 minutes a day, sometimes less. And there's probably more that you need to do in your business. That's not all it is. And you could spend more time if you like. That's how I've helped full-time parents, business owners, and 9-to-5ers posting consistently for their first time ever. You might also think, I've tried editing courses before and they didn't work. This isn't just tutorials, it's a rhythm and feedback system that actually gets you posting. It gives you a repeatable system that once you start to get, you just start doing it over and over and over and stick with what works. Stick to one thing and make it work. Sound familiar? Because that's what changed everything for me. I've seen so many people waste money on courses that just gives you tools, but no system. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Just a bunch of random tutorials that don't connect, or a bunch of YouTubes that you try and piece together yourself and figure it out. That's not what this is. Editing Made Easy is a rhythm. It's a flow. It tells you what to do and when to do it. You're never sitting there wondering what comes next. You're not left alone. You get real feedback, real coaching, and a real path to actually finish and post. Another question that comes to mind is, I've never made money from content before. Maybe you've been grinding for years. Maybe you just started, but neither have most of my people until they did. Because once you start posting with rhythm and combine that with group juice, things start clicking fast. People find you, they see your message, they join your group, and then they buy. Usually unexpected. Group Juice even shows you how to tap into programs like the Amazon Influencer Program and TikTok Shop for creators. You'll see how I upload videos that get paid every single day, and you can do it too. We have full trainings inside the classroom that walk you through how to apply, get accepted, and start earning from the content you're already making. And you have a group behind you that is rooting you on because we're all trying to help each other get ahead and get to our dream. All of this is included. So if you've been waiting for proof that you can actually do this, I hope you've seen it today. Drop a quick "got it" in the chat if one of those helped you breathe a little easier. I hope so. And I hope you got quite a bit out of this. This system isn't for the perfect creator. It's for the real one. The one who's ready to stop guessing and start growing. You and me. So to kind of finish this up, I mean, the creator reset, right? This is your reset from what you've been doing to get you back on track and to get those drafts into being posted. Most creators stay stuck because they keep trying to build from scratch. They start over every Monday with a new idea, new energy, and no system. I want to give you what helped me finally break that cycle. A repeatable, sustainable rhythm, content system that works in real life, not just theory. Even if you work full time, even if you've got a family, even if you've tried before and it didn't work. If you're ready to stop guessing and start growing, drop me a message, the word "ready," or hit the button below and jump in. You're one video away from momentum. You've got the ideas. Now it's time to make them move. I wanted to thank you all so much. If you have questions, in the chat that weren't answered, I'll look to get back to you. Click that button below, DM me ready. I'm here for you. And at least come join our Editing Made Easy group on School, which is where you'll get the most information. And again, be on the lookout for my new season of content coming up. Thank you all so much for showing up. I will have a replay for this, and I hope to talk to you all soon. Thank you.